So I just wanted to make a little video to talk to you about the most powerful force in the world that you obviously already know about, but I felt called to speak about it, and that's love. And I'm not going to talk about it in some sort of cheesy way, but the reason why I feel called to speak about love is because it has everything to do with expanding and clarifying and mastering your gifts. Anyone who's ever had an experience with a psychic or even a best friend who's very psychic, you'll notice how what's important is so much more than that person's gifts, right? It's what's important is so much more than their ability to tune in and speak to guides and get messages and deliver them to you. All that stuff is fascinating and it's amazing, but it is secondary to your ability to embody and emanate love, because love is the frequency that cleans up any distortion that you might be receiving from your gifts. You might be giving someone perfectly good information, but if there's any distortion in you, towards superiority or resentment or divisiveness or opposition or anything like that, it can leave a tinge of that in your transmission that can influence people. And I'm saying this from experience. I'm someone who has experienced a lot of pain and challenge around being influenced, around mentorship, around other psychics. And I don't blame anybody. This is absolutely on me, to be anchored in my truth and my own resonance. But I also say that because us as psychics, those of us who are in the intuitive space, offering guidance, those of us who are guiding lights, it is so imperative that we know how to convey information in such a way that doesn't have any charge towards any particular sway. For example, if I were to give you very accurate information on someone or something in your life and be like, oh yeah, this person's doing da 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 da, and I'm going to confirm the things that you're seeing and believing, and be like, yep, you're right, and I'm going to expand upon it and da 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 da. So you're just like, oh wow, yep, 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 and then I end with, yeah, that's a really negative person. Like, oh, he's really egotistical, or anything that's even somewhat divisive, that's influential, right? So it's so important for us to be in tune with love when we're using our gifts, because at the end of the day, I believe the whole purpose is to create more unity, right? If I'm shining light on you and I'm tuning into you or whoever else, and I'm giving you information, my intention is not just to expand you and to enlighten you and to empower you, but it's to leave you feeling more inclusiveness, more unity, so that you're not leaving going, oh yeah, I was right about that person, I'm going to stay away. And you kind of have like you kind of have a chip on your shoulder about that person, or maybe a wall. That to me means that my job was incomplete. Means that I was not masterful enough. In my opinion. This is my opinion. And I say this just because I've learned so much and gotten hurt so much in this area. And again, I don't blame anybody, because all of us, myself included, show up the best we absolutely can. And that's where it's your responsibility to be very anchored in your truth. Very, not only paying attention to your resonance, but to be so anchored in your heart and your truth that if, let's say, if I gave you really good information that confirmed your intuitions and then gave you new perspectives and shined light on new horizons, and at the same time kind of left you feeling like someone is bad or something is bad or some form of divisiveness, it is up to you. It is your responsibility to go, what is love here? Let me go deeper in my heart and go, what is love here? How can I shine with more purity and more heart, so that I can take the information that was given that did resonate and even bring it an octave higher, bring more love into that frequency? That is true mastery. That is really walking your own path and not being too influenced by others, right? Because it's so easy to listen to the people we trust. That's why we trust them. It's so easy to listen to the people we trust. but it can be challenging sometimes to be anchored in your truth while you're listening. Not giving your power away, not being like, so what do you think? You think I should do that? Do this? Do you feel I should do that? Right? When you ask those questions, be aware that you're giving your power away on some level. And a good mentor, a good guide will reflect that back to you and be like, "Well, what's your intuition say?" And make sure they empower you, because it's not about me giving you information and being like, "Ta-da, I'm magical," right? It's about empowering you in your own magic by serving as a sacred reflection. And that takes mastery, that takes skill, that takes practice. It's more than just the ability, it's developing the skill, right? So it's very important, and this is what I call the path of the illuminated heart. I'm someone who walks the path of the illuminated heart, where more than my gifts and my psychic abilities, I care about my shine and the purity that's coming through and the unity that I'm creating through my words. And so I just invite you to reflect on this. I just invite you to maybe look in your life. Maybe you have certain friends or certain mentors that you really trust, that you really maybe even look up to, and that you've been working with for many years. But at the same time, maybe you notice that there's certain things that just don't fully resonate with you, or you have certain wonders or certain curiosities. Look deeper into them. Get more deeply anchored in your truth so that you can take the essence of what's being told to you, but also go beyond, right? Because you do have the answers within. Let your mastery shine for you. Something I did myself at one point was I needed to unplug from all my mentors and just detox from outside influence, because I noticed I wasn't anchored enough in my own truth. I was getting great information and being helped, but I also felt reliant on some way anytime I was going through crap. When I was going through crap, all of a sudden it was like, need help, reach out to this person, right? That's a disempowered state to reach out to help from, which is okay in the beginning, because there's a certain period where you're learning how to walk, right? You're learning how to stand on your own. And so it's okay to lean on someone. But then there comes a point where you can sense it's time to grow forward. It's time to empower yourself even more. So what I personally did is I took months to just unplug from outside influence. And it was tough. It was challenging, especially in those moments. It's easy when you're feeling high on life. It's easy, you're like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm gonna let go, no problem. But then that trigger comes in, and it's not just a trigger, then you find yourself for a week or 2 weeks just in the same thing and you still can't find clarity, and so it's tempting to reach out. That's where it was challenging, and that's where it takes certain navigation, or at least finding the right guide who can perhaps help you. I don't know if I even want to say that, because the whole point of that was letting go of outside influence. But I think you get the point of what I'm saying, right? So even with what I'm telling you right now, listen to your own inner guidance system. Listen to your own truth, because that's ultimately the message that I'm conveying here, is regardless of who it is, how much you love them, how much you trust them, how much you look up to them, you have to listen to your own truth, because there's always something that you can see uniquely that the other person can't see. And that's the whole point. To take the messages you receive, take what resonates, and then get your own perspectives, tune into your own truth around it in a way that's uniquely coded to you. All right, so I hope this message was helpful in some way. I wasn't really sure where I was going with it as I was speaking, but I just knew that there was a reason why I wanted to share this. So you guys will let me know how this landed for you. And if you did find it helpful, please go ahead and share it, because like I said, at the end of the day, love is the most powerful force, and this is why we're doing this. It's not about the gifts. The gifts are magical, they're phenomenal, but it's how you show up with love in those gifts that makes all the difference. All right, that's the mastery, and that's my invitation. All right, lots of love, guys.